Hi students, this is our second session of power sharing. Before going through the new concept, we will have a small recapitulation. What does mean by power sharing? What is Belgium? What are the issues happened in Belgium as well as in Sri Lanka? Yes? Now, just look at everyone. What does mean by power sharing? Power sharing is nothing but in a democracy country, sharing of powers between people, parties and the linguistic group. We'll be calling it as a power sharing. What does mean by linguistic? Linguistic is nothing but which denotes what the language speaks. We'll be calling it as a linguistic. Now we'll move to a story of Belgium. Yes, Belgium is a small country in Europe. I've told you already. Smaller in area than the state of Haryana. So when we compare with the Haryana state, Belgium is a small country. It has a border with all the four countries like France, Germany, Netherlands, Luxembourg. Yes? Next in this cases, it has a population of little over 1 crore, about half of the population of Haryana. Yes? Next, what is the meaning of ethnic? Ethnic is nothing but a social division which is based on the shared culture. We'll be calling it as a ethnic. The ethnic composition of the country is very complex, and of the country's total population, 59% of the people will speak Dutch. Where they live in the Flemish region, and 40% of the people lives in Wallonia region and they will speak French, and the remaining 1% of the people speak German. Yes? Now, just like the opposite, in the capital city of Brussels, French speaking people 80 and Dutch speaking people is 20. Yes? I will repeat again students. 59% of the people will speak Dutch. They lives in Flemish region. 40% of the people lives in Wallonia region. They will speak French, and the remaining 1% of the people will speak German. In the capital city of Brussels, 80% of the people will speak French and 20% of the people will speak Dutch. Yes? Now, even though when the French people is a minority, minority community, but they were relatively rich as well as they were very powerful. Yes. And then, but because of all this, and when we compare with Dutch, I have to repeat again, French people even though they were minority community was relatively rich as well as very powerful. But in this case of Dutch speaking community, they have got the benefit of economic development and education much later. So this led to tension between the Dutch speaking as well as the French speaking communities during 1950s and 1960s. Yes, and then because of this, the tension between the two communities were more acute in Brussels. Brussels present a special problem. The Dutch speaking people constituted majority in the country, but they were minority in the capital city of Brussels. Let us move to Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, Sinhala speakers 75%, Tamil speakers 18%. Tamil speakers, we have two subgroups here, Sri Lankan Tamilians 13% and Indian Tamil. Whom will be calling it as an Indian Tamil now is nothing but the forefather, those who came from India as a plantation works during the colonial period, we be calling those people as a Indian Tamil. Okay. The rest 7% of Christians, both they belongs to Tamil as well as the Sinhala. Let us move to majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. First of all, what is meant by majoritarianism? Is nothing but a majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants to, disregarding the needs and wishes of the minority. So in a simple, majoritarianism is nothing but the majority community will try to dominate the minority community. We'll be calling it as a majoritarianism. After independence in 1948, Sri Lanka adopted a series of majoritarianism measures to establish Sinhala supremacy over the Tamil. So in the previous class I just told you already, the percentage of Sinhala speaker was 74%. So once after independence, 1948, Sri Lanka adopted the majoritarianism measure. What is the measures now? They want to establish the Sinhala supremacy over the Tamil. So for that, what they have did it, in 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. So in 1956, they have passed an act. That act was nothing but to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. Now, we'll see in a brief. Majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka merged as an independent country in 1948. I've told you, the leader of the Sinhala community sought to secure dominance over government by virtue of the majority. As a result, the democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarianism measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. So what happened? Sri Lanka merged as an independent country in 1948. After that, the leaders of the Sinhala community, they have the plan to fight to secure dominance over the government. For what? By virtue of the majority. So as a result, the democratically elected government, they adopted the serious measures of majoritarianism to establish Sinhala supremacy. In 1956, Act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language, thus disregarding Tamil. So in 1956, they passed an act that Sinhala as the only official language. The government followed preferential policies that favor Sinhala applicants for university position and government job. So the government, they have started supporting Sinhala. So when they have passed an act, what is the act now? They have made that Sinhala as the only official language. So they have started supporting the Sinhala speakers in what way? No? Like giving more preference for Sinhala applicants for a university job position as well as for the government job. A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect foster Buddhism. What is the meaning of foster Buddhism? Is nothing but which speaks about something must be done to support the Buddhism. Yes, we'll be calling it as foster Buddhism. Move to other one. All this government measure coming one after the other. So they have started implementing one by one. Gradually it's increased the feeling of alienation among the Sri Lankan Tamilians. So the Sri Lankan Tamilians started feeling that they are alienated by the Sri Lankan government. They felt that none of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leader was sensitive to the language as well as their culture. So they have started feeling that none of the people have not supported the Sri Lankan Tamilians, and they have started feeling that they were alienated by the Sri Lankan governments, and none of the political party have supported the Sri Lankan Tamilians. And next, they felt that the constitution and the government policies denied them equal political rights and discriminated against them in getting job and other opportunities and ignored their interest. So they have started feeling that even constitution and the government policies, they have denied their equal rights, and they have started discriminating the Tamil. And against them, even in a government job, even in opportunities, they were ignored. Totally they were ignored. As a result, the relations between the Sinhala and the Tamil community strained over time. The Sri Lankan Tamil launched parties and struggles for the recognition of Tamil as an official language for regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education as well as in job. So the Sri Lankan Tamil people, they have planned to launch a party for what? For struggles for the recognition. Tamil has to be a recognized one. At the same time, it should be like an official language, and apart from that, a regional autonomy as well equal opportunity even for a Tamil people as well as in the education as well as in the job. But the demand for more autonomy to provinces populated by the Tamil was repeatedly denied. Whatever they asked for, Tamil was repeatedly denied. By 1980, several political organizations were formed demanding an independent Tamil called state in northern as well as the eastern part of Sri Lanka. So in 1980, they formed the organization for what? For demanding an independent Tamil that is separate state for Tamil people in north as well as the eastern part of Sri Lanka. The distrust between the two communities turned into a widespread conflict. So that's it. At last, the distrust between those two communities became a conflict. It's a widespread conflict, and soon it turned to be a civil war. As a result, thousands of people of both the community have been killed. Many people, when many families were forced to leave the country as refugees, as many more lost their livelihoods.